So we're here at Sliders. We just finished up with 2 TCs of ours, and I'm here with Matt. You are at Sliders.
So I'm the Director of Operations for Sliders Oyster Bar and Safe Harbor Seafood.
Awesome. Okay, rock and roll. So yeah, we are here in Neptune Beach. It is absolutely gorgeous. This place is awesome, dude.
I'm glad you like it.
This place is so freaking cool. Thank you for letting us come do this. Let's get kind of right into you coming here, what you bring to the table to Sliders. Obviously, we talked earlier before this, merch stuff, things like that. What is like your bread and butter when it comes to you being here at Sliders, Director of Operations?
Okay, so the owners have had Sliders for, it'll be 5 years this October. And prior to that time, prior to the remodel, Sliders was the Sliders of old. It was Sliders that's been here for a long, long time. I think over 40 years it's been in the community, whether it be next door in the site there or in the site it's in now. And roundabout just after COVID, we were like, well, there's a slight change to Neptune Beach and the beaches. You know, it's getting a bit younger, it's getting a bit hipper.
Yeah.
We need to adjust with that.
Yeah,
you know. So we had this great plot, and trying to think what we wanted to do with it was, well, we need to create more of a bar atmosphere. And last year we sat down and the owners decided to purchase the property. Before that, they were renting it. They had an opportunity to purchase it. So they purchased it, and we took a look at the full boundaries of what we have and what we wanted to do, and we decided on a full remodel. That's what was going to take to bring it up to the level we wanted to be at. So it was my purpose to be a project manager for that. So we sat down with architect, and we sat down with Edgeline and Design, who actually are the owners of Hotel Palms.
Okay, cool.
And they came on board to help us with a new, fresh design for this place, and with our own ideas of how we wanted to operate. We knew we wanted to do this huge bar out front. We knew we wanted the bar to be accessible from First Street, and that was the direction we wanted to head in. So with all that happening, we knew with it all we wanted a complete new rebrand, a new aesthetic.
I love it.
And roll it all together. So it's very much my role to try and tie that all in together.
Right, exactly. I said that. I'm like, I love this place's aesthetic. This vibe is incredible. I mean, you got the turf up here that will probably flash on screen. Even this. So is this is in your vision?
Right.
Or, this is incredible.
We knew we wanted certain eye-popping moments.
Yeah.
And when Julie and Greg from Edgeline and Design did initial drawings for us, they included a neon sign inside that was visible from First Street. And we're just going to develop that idea to something that would work for us. I knew I wanted to put a projector inside for live sport, surfing, whatever it was on. And out here, I knew we'd still have some blank canvases to work with.
Right.
So we actually, this is using you've probably seen them on Instagram. They're called Yellow Pop.
Yeah.
They make custom neon signs for you. Great. They arrived on kind of different pieces. You put them together. And when I saw it all coming together, I was like, we need to put this on something. So the good thing about the beach is you have amazing local artists that you can bounce off. And Josh Fars actually put this piece together for us behind it. He does a pop-up at Southern Swells every week. So he put that together for us. And along with our other artists like Jerome Morris, who's done several pieces throughout the restaurant. And Gary Mack, who's on the front, a very famous local artist. We tried to lean on all those guys to try and bring something together and make this special.
Yeah, no, this place is absolutely incredible. I mean, you guys definitely knocked it out of the park. I mean, when we showed up, you guys were powwowing about social media, what we can do more for your customers, and just, you know, kind of like really lighten and highlight what's going on here. I mean, you guys, this is incredible. Inside, we'll definitely have to do some shots inside, but it's just too beautiful to not be outside.
I appreciate it, yeah.
In front of this is incredible. So let's get into some, before we had 3 drinks that came out.
Yep.
It was the cucumber martini, the rum punch, and then the pina colada. Kind of obviously minus the pina colada, super traditional. Kind of walk us through. Do you guys do anything weird or different on any of those 2 drinks, the rum punch and the cucumber? Or?
Not so much. A rum punch has always been a favorite, and it might actually be part down to its name. It's called the Hobbs Rum Punch, and that's got a lot of history for us here at Sliders and at the beach. Our owner, his best friend was Larry Hobbs.
Okay.
Who was a lifeguard in the local area and a close friend of their family, and unfortunately passed away, lost his battle to cancer. And a lot of the community in the local area really all rally behind what happened to him and how to keep making money on top of that to help other families in his position. And we introduced that on the menu as a little nod to him.
Yeah.
Because he would spend time, from what I understand, I didn't get to spend too much time with him, but from what I understand, when Chris and Deanna's kids were working here, he would come and sit himself on the bar, make sure there's no problems. He'd keep an eye on them all.
The self-appointed neighborhood watch of Sliders.
So there might be something different in that drink, but I think a lot of its success is down to the name and his name being attached to it.
That's fantastic. I mean, we love just absolute great stories and character like that. I mean, really, that's why you come to a place like this, right? You get top-level service, you get great history, you get just cool little character traits like that. And then you guys brought out a bucket of Onda, which I love Onda. I plugged it. Shay Mitchell, all women, operated, owned. My brother's in liquor sales in New Jersey, so he knows this well. But you said you guys are like a huge provider and seller of this stuff here.
We are. So Onda was brought to me actually by my wife just before we started a remodel. She went to some picnic, some kind of meal on the beach, and one of the girls actually came up with a can of Onda. And she's like, Matt, I don't really care how this it tastes or anything, but look how cool this can is.
Yeah, right.
And I saw the colors and I looked a bit more into them. I was like, well, they're getting they're a really cool aesthetic. You know, they're going for this 90s vintage surf vibe.
Love it.
I was like, well, everything we're trying to do with Sliders is a bit of that Miami Beach ode to Jacksonville, Neptune Beach, but bring elements of that more hip clientele into it.
Yeah.
So I wrote to them. I just took a shot in the dark, like I did with Casey with these hats that we can talk about. But with Onda, I said, listen, we're going for this type of vibe with our remodel. I'd love to incorporate your branding in as many places as we can. Is that something you'd be interested in? And thankfully, they were like, absolutely. You know, they were growing at the time as well. When we started doing this together, they were trying to expand all over the United States. They've done so well recently.
Big grassroots movement for Onda.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that goes down to the aesthetic of it. It's also great because it tastes amazing.
It's delicious.
You know,
I mean,
it's not just one of those like one and done drinks. It is now my
Blanco
drink.
tequila, real fruit juice. It's always spectacular.
And I think that's a big selling point. Is it's just natural. You know, so it helps people here who are a bit more image conscious, health conscious as well.
That's spectacular. So I mean, so you, obviously, director of operations, you seem to have a huge influence on how basically everything happens in this place. Let's get right into the food.
Okay.
Kind of, do you dive into this stuff? Are you all a part of this as well, or you kind of relinquish this to head chef?
About probably about 2 years ago, I was brought on board by Diana and Chris, the owners, and started to look at different aspects of the business. But one of them, the place that I fell in love with initially was always Sliders. I was like, that's such a great location. There's a lot we can do there. It's not so heavily reliant on the seafood, but we still have an opportunity to offer our signature Safe Harbor seafood here. Mm-hmm. We have that luxury of being a supplier of seafood to be able to offer that. With Sliders, we had a menu that had a bit more to it. You know, there was more offerings for people who weren't so much into seafood all the time. Mm-hmm. But we had an opportunity to stray away from the classics. We could put our own little twist on things. We can make them cooler. We can make them more hip. The bacon wrapped scallops we have here, we're a dish that we always did do here. I can't take credit for that one. Just like I can't take credit for actually any of this, truthfully. This was here. We just twisted it slightly. So they speak for themselves. You know, it's simple. They're sea scallops wrapped in bacon.
Absolutely.
Served with a pineapple.
No one's going to say no to it.
Nice little sauce, nice little dressing. This here is a new development for us. This is our mango habanero fried shrimp. So
it looks
one of our
insane. First of all, the shrimp are gigantic.
Right.
They're basically lobster tail at this point.
That's
but
it.
We've been smelling this thing since you sat down. Yes, go ahead.
So our fried tossed shrimp, we call it, is our take on the chicken wing. We knew here that we had an opportunity to bring in more of a football crowd, more of a crowd wanting to have a bit more fun time, maybe just wanted to pick at something as they're having a drink. Yeah. Our buyer out of the market, Ivan, actually had this idea. I was like, well, why don't we do a version of chicken wings, but we use shrimp? You know, so let's get some cool. I think they're called. Is it Sunny Bee? What's the sauces called? They're you get them in public. Sunny Bee Rays or what?
Sweet Baby Rays.
Sweet Baby Rays. Yeah. And he was like, let's just toss some fried shrimp in this and see how it tastes. And it stuck. You know, we tried different flavors. We had Nashville hot. We had garlic parmesan. We tried a Korean barbecue.
I love that.
Jerk barbecue. All different ones. And the two that stuck for us were the mango habanero, which has certainly got a kick to it.
Yeah. And
our garlic parmesan for somebody who doesn't like anything too spicy.
Right. I mean, they smell absolutely incredible. They look incredible. So we're going to dive into these. We're going to have the girls come back in. We're going to pick at these in a bit. And then let's go into this. Is this?
Oh, okay. So this was a new development for the remodel. Again, just trying to branch out a little bit. We always got a lot of credit for our burger, which was very odd to us because, well, it's just a basic burger.
Right.
But again, you got to have something on there that appeals to the wider market as well. we put our own little twist that if you want, you can make it a surf and turf burger.
Okay.
So we take some of that Mayport shrimp that we're known for, we blacken it, we grill it, and we put it on top of our burger and put a piece of cheese over it.
Because why
cheddar
not?
cheese or whatever cheese you actually choose to have here.
Right.
And it just gives it a little bit extra crunch.
Right.
But again, it's something basic. It's simple. It doesn't hurt us too much to do it.
Right.
It's very easy. It's good comfort food.
Wow.
With a little twist on it.
That's spectacular. This smells good. Girls, you want to come in and try some of this stuff? Let's kind of check it out. Come pop in and let's try some of this stuff. They're gonna come over here. I'm gonna steal one of these and then we can pass it over there. You're good right where you're at.
I'm good here.
Yeah. Let's try this.
Burger. I really recommend the mango habanero shrimp. Grab that by the tail.
Wow, dude.
Do you want a little plate as well?
So I'm not like a massive spice person, but this is incredible.
Definitely get one of those. If you're into scallops, get one of those bacon wrapped scallops with a bit of the sauce in it. I think it's actually a teriyaki glaze we use on it.
Oh, those shrimp are absolutely wild. Wow. Matt, you're gonna be all over those.
I feel for him. He's going to sit back there while we're all enjoying this.
So let's get into a little bit. So you had mentioned too, because we're big on that too. So we love collaboration. We know it's something that, we always want to highlight people. That's why we're here, right? We want to highlight Sliders. We're trying to use our platform, the audience we have. Let's get into you. Hey, I'm going to fire this email off to Onda. I'm going to fire this email off to Lafar, is it?
That was it, yeah. Lafar.
How important is that to you to be like, I need to bring in other stuff and highlight this stuff? So like talk about just like these guys or, Onda, kind of how this happened.
A lot of that came from what I was developing an understanding of at the beaches. They're I don't want to say the word cliquey, but they like to help each other out. If community is a very big focus here. And they enjoy new ideas coming in, but they're always on hand to help you try and build those ideas. So I kind of got from the owners that exists here, and lean on that a little bit. They already had great artists that they used for whether it be the different restaurants that they have and that worked with, and childhood friends of themselves that are still creative and still based here. So reaching out to the people like Onda and Casey Favor were very much like, well, they're the newer generation of that,
right?
They're the people who are doing things that appeal to our age group, and that is something that perhaps would kickstart trying to bring that new clientele into Sliders.
Right.
That is for the next generation for the years to come.
Yeah.
So with that, just like with Onda, it's just a quick email away. I knew that Casey was local, but I knew that his brand was growing very, very quickly.
Right.
And thankfully, as nice of a guy and humble as he is, he shot me an email back and he was just like, man, I used to eat at Sliders when I was growing up. I was like, great,
yeah,
awesome.
That's our end.
That's our end, exactly. I can definitely throw in some oysters. So we just started talking, and he's a very good creative director of his brand in the sense that he has a set idea what he wants to go for, but he'll still listen to you also.
Right.
And he knew what we were trying to do here. He knew our color schemes, and really I think he knocked out the park with what he captured.
Absolutely crushed it.
The one thing that I suggested to him was he already had his amazing Florida hats that he was releasing, and I said, listen, I love that. People clearly love that. Let's do something subtle. Yeah. That doesn't change it too much, and it's still recognized as a Lefebvre hat.
You can bring that right in. Right, so you guys put your own kind of peg on it. I mean, we talked before. I go, hey, that hat is absolutely dynamite, knocked out of the park. And you're right.
He asked me about colors and things like that, and for a man like him, he knows what he knows what he wants to do. So it was very much, listen, run with it like he did, and then he was so great that he even asked me, is that the right color of pink? And he did. He got it really great.
Yeah, I see. Well. We have this same. It's kind of like that retro vibe, and fashion, at least to me, fashion design. So by trade, I'm a graphic designer. Went to school for it at Flagler, so I'm obsessed with that. It's so cyclical, right? So I started using weird highlighter colors, right? Sure enough, they come back into play because that's what people. It's super cyclical. I don't know if you look at any childhood toys that you had growing up. They're selling the same ones now. They're just called something totally different, right? And I think, and I love it, right? It's not like a stealing situation. It's like the first person who designed a chair, everybody who builds another chair doesn't owe that person royalties, right? It's like, hey, copying, I guess, not plagiarism, but copying is like the most sincere form of flattery because, hey, what you did was so good. There's no way we're just going to try and do our own work on it, right? So I think that's spectacular that you saw that in other things and we're like, hey, there's no way we're going to do it better. Why don't we just bring these people in and collaborate with these people to give our customers the best experience possible and make this place just cool.
For sure, and that's the thing. You can't hold it all to yourself. You know,
right?
Like if you're the only person making decision about these things, it's not really going to develop. You know, like we all age.
Yeah,
you
oh,
know,
for sure.
So.
And if you're not, and you're not finding somebody who knows what's happening or what's cool.
Right.
It's just one day by day you're getting left in the past.
That's it, exactly. So we're very fortunate we managed to work with some great people on rebuilding and rebranding this brand that was already here because the thing about the Sliders brand with the colors it used, the flamingo,
right?
It's a hipster's dream.
Yeah.
You know, our millennial's dream even. It's like that's everything that we're about.
Yeah, exactly.
Flamingos, pale pink.
No,
you know,
it's awesome. I mean, this place literally incredible. Again, this beautiful turf area up here. I think that's always so smart. People try and do real grass, which again, love. I'm a huge proponent of turf. I'm like, why not? It's always green. You don't have to worry about cleanup, mud, etc. It's incredible. The little putting green, and I mean, you really can't ever beat this location. I mean, we're what? 100 feet from the beach.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's bananas. Well, anyway, let's wrap up. Let's hit this stuff. What's going on here?
So this is our sampler platter. We have got different variety of baked and topped oysters, and we have our probably what is developed into our Oyster Bar's signature variety of oyster. Johnny Pop, who's run our Oyster Bar for years now, likes to come up with these wacky creations now and then. And what you have here is our Godzilla raw oyster. So it's a raw oyster with some wasabi sauce. And some of his signature pirate sauce. Doesn't let anybody know what's in it. It's a hot sauce.
Pirate sauce.
Pirate sauce, it's called. So we get a lot of customers now coming in for that type of oyster.
Right.
And we have all your other standard here. We've got the Rockefeller. We've got baked oysters, and there's a Lucky Gouda one that he mixes with Gouda cheese. So different varieties here. Please tuck in, and once we finish here, finish them off as well.
Then final thing here we got.
Yeah, what we have here finally is just our signature at the safe harbors. We knew when we were doing this remodel, we wanted to try and tap into what those did for years before, which was just let's make the most of our fish and shrimp.
Right.
Now we have such a great opportunity with where we are in Mayport that we get all this fresh shrimp and fresh seafood that we got to bring that to Sliders.
Yeah.
And not just in the form of the occasional fresh catch. Let's make it more consistent.
Yeah.
So this is just our signature fried Mayport shrimp platter.
Love
with
it.
fries and our hush puppies.
Hush puppies. Yeah.
Can't get any more simple than that.
Yeah, you know we're in the South when you get hush puppies and fried shrimp.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Well, anyway, this place is incredible. Thank you so much for having us here. Really appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
Thank
you
so
being
much. If you guys are ever in this area or you're moving down here or if you're just locals, come check out Sliders. We're right here on First Street. And what do we got here? What street is this?
That one is lemon and orange here.
Lemon and orange, sorry, my bad. But then we have access on First Street.
That's the First Street right here.
Yeah, First Street, exactly. Literally 100 yards off the beach. So thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you guys. Come check out Sliders. See you guys.